Jen, we got new word in New York in that bottom right camera there. Didn't we get some new info coming in?
Official 1 inch. So Christmas Eve. It's
Central
at Central Park in New York City.
How about that?
So I guess that makes it a white Christmas, a white Christmas Eve for sure.
Yes, why not? Let's take it.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for choosing the Weather Channel to help you plan ahead this holiday season. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno and storm specialist Dr. Rick Postel here to check out the spots where de-icing has already been needed. We've been seeing that here into Western New York. It's
a very important job, obviously, and they do it very, very well. And it sometimes gives you some delays, but trust me, you want those planes de-iced if there's snow or cold air in place.
You know, folks have asked me, why would I get de-iced when I'm looking out the window and it's sunny? Well, it depends like what you're going into, right?
What you're going into.
What kind of clouds you're going into, where you're traveling, etc. So yes, that might be one thing you deal with at the airport today. Other spots, maybe doing a little last minute shopping. You might experience some chilly temps today, but we've got changes coming.
Yes, we do. So enjoy the chill as long as you can. And whatever snow is on the ground, take it and maybe preserve it, put it in the fridge, in the freezer, because I'm not sure it's going to stick around for a whole lot longer.
This looks so festive, but not open. Is it not open? It's not that early?
I don't know.
I think
what's
today
going on
everybody
here.
would be out and about already.
You think?
I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get going.
Let's get it. So we are unwrapping all the weather presents.
Get out there maybe over this holiday. We'll see. I don't know if you have enough snow or not, but let's talk about some of the problems that could come from this. We've been watching of concern in a few spots where there's a winter weather advisory, and it's not just for snow. It might be mixing with some sleet or even some freezing rain. So that's been a concern in and around the Baltimore, D.C. area, up towards Philadelphia, although your advisory was dropped there, but parts of Jersey and Delaware and Maryland as well in this. Back into West Virginia and then up into the Lower Highlands. We've got some issues there where the potential is there for some slick spots. So here's what's left of the precip right now showing up on radar. Again, it's about out of the Philadelphia area. I did see a mix of some snow and sleet when it was falling, reported at the airport. Really watching that right now. We've had some snow and sleet in D.C. as well. There may be some pockets of freezing rain. And so that's another really big concern when it comes to travel. So how much longer are we going to be looking at this? I know that's a big question you have. We have, again, active right now radar. But this is going to be exiting as we get through the next couple of hours. So at the moment, anticipating some issues, maybe on the roads, at the airports. We do have delays at ground stop at LaGuardia. Otherwise, no other official delays being reported. This ground stop at LaGuardia goes for about another 15 minutes, and that's for flights that are destined to. So you can't take off if you're going to LaGuardia if you're in this ground stop. And again, once it ends, you can take off, and hopefully there's no other ground delay programs. Now, for tomorrow, much better weather-wise. If you're traveling Christmas Day, you got the jackpot here when it comes to the weather. Temperatures are going to be a bit warmer as well. We'll head up to 34 degrees in New York City and Boston, 32. Still starting off at a cool note in the morning, though, so beware of any slick spots out there. Christmas Day, not anticipating any major delays at the airports because of weather. In the south right now, well, we've got some delays in Dallas, and that's because of thunderstorms. Otherwise, we're fine in Atlanta. We're fine in our Florida airports, but it's the storms in Texas, Greg, that we were worried about causing some delays, and right on cue. That's what's happening. Let's get and dig into the details on that northeast snow, Greg.
Yeah, we still have a little bit left.
Well, hello, everyone, and good day, and thanks for choosing the Weather Channel to help you plan ahead this holiday season. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno, and we've got storm specialist Dr. Rick Postel here to check out the spots where folks are hoping snow sticks around, hopping snow sticks around. Let's see, or doing some biking through a snowy Central Park.
Allegedly, this was this morning.
Yes.
With some snow moving through the region, we got an inch of snow in Central Park. Now, if we can keep this for tomorrow morning, it's technically a white Christmas. Will we? I don't know. It's going to be a close call.
I think we will. I think we will. Between what we had this weekend plus this, you're going to be able to call it an inch, I'm sure. I'm not positive, but I'm very confident.
Our weather producer Molly said the snowflakes falling down from the sky are actually little ghosts of Christmas past visiting us.
Oh,
yeah,
isn't that cool? A neat way to think about it?
Yeah,
well, some last-minute holiday shoppers may also experience some chilly temps today, but a warm-up is on the way. In Chicago, we're up to 37 now. It does feel like 29 though out there.
Yeah, a little chilly. Anytime you have 30s and a little bit of wind, it feels not like the 30s anymore.
Right.
It's a lot colder. Yeah.
Yes. It's starting to look a little more busy out here with folks starting to head to the Christmas markets.
Yep, and you know what? We're unwrapping all the weather presents a little early.
Well, let's get into some of the travel challenges that we've been having right now in spots near Fredericksburg, Virginia, just north of there, really. We've had some freezing rain, and that's still a concern at this hour. So watching, not necessarily on I-95, but there are some state roads that are being impacted with slick spots because of freezing rain. Be very cautious, not just on the roads, but walking out to your car, your driveways may be icy, your sidewalks, your front steps could be icy. Be really careful there. And watching that zone kind of in between Fredericksburg and over, in between there and I-81 into, if you're doing any traveling, I-81 should just be wet, but the road's getting there. There may be some slick spots. So this is what's left of everything. You know, we had some snow and sleet in Philly, snow and sleet in DC that came out of this, and now it is still just sticking around a little bit longer. And because temperatures are just getting stuck near that freezing mark, we do have pockets of freezing rain. Well, in New York City, the snow is long gone. Temperatures today are heading up to 38 degrees, 35 degrees for you in Boston. Still some snow left behind in Maine, and that may mean some slick travel on the roads out there, especially eastern Maine. There also may be a few airport delays. Keep an eye on Portland and Bangor and Boston, even keeping an eye on things for you. Haven't seen any issues, though. DC is the one we got to really watch because we do still have that light precip in the area, some sleet, as well as some freezing rain is possible. De-icing is, of course, one of the departure delay issues that you might see. It's happening at Reagan National right now. In the south, we have delays at DFW because of thunderstorms in the area, both a ground stop and a ground delay program. So ground stop means you can't leave from your starting point until the ground stop is lifted, if you're a part of it. Not every airport is. It's really just some southeast airports. Ground delay, looks like we just switched over. Okay, so the ground stop is done. The ground delay program is in effect. So the ground delay program means that everyone from airports that are included in this ground delay are delayed at about 45 minutes. It definitely varies. That's the average, 45 minutes. And throughout the day, that may change depending on how volume changes as well. Christmas Day is a wet one for you. If you're traveling along interstates 40 or 20 or even 10, we'll have rain out there through the lower Mississippi Valley, but should stay dry in Atlanta, Charlotte, and Raleigh, and warming up in these places as well. Let's dig a little more into that northeast snow right now with Greg.
Yeah, let's have a look at it because
we want to go through some of the numbers and actually talk some details. There were 24 disasters with $61.6 billion in damage and 418 deaths. And that's really what matters the most.
Costly in terms of dollars and in terms of lives, unfortunately.
Yeah. Most of the time, it is severe weather that bubbles up as the most number of disasters that we encounter.
Yeah, the most number of billion-dollar disasters are those severe weather events. Actually, when I saw this, I was kind of shocked. I would have thought, of course, hurricanes. Those are the big headline events, but there are just not that many of them.
There's not that many of them.
And that's why.
They're the most expensive.
The most expensive,
yeah,
exactly.
But severe storms, both this year and again last year, which was a big year, severe storms led the list. There were 19 billion-dollar severe weather events in 2023. And when you compare from year to year, last year, I hope we never have a year like it. We had, a total of $28 billion disasters. But this year, 24, second highest.
Cross our fingers, right. Now, the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season will not go down in the record books in terms of numbers.
But the impacts will be felt for years to come. Here's a sneak peek at what's ahead next hour.
There's a big difference.
I like some of those views, though, right?
Yeah,
especially the one on the top
left.
left.
Are out there enjoying some good snow. We've had snowfall all across the Northeast. This is Chalfont, Pennsylvania. Look at this snowy morning.
Pennsylvania. So we got some snow, a couple inches last night in some places.
About 30 minutes north of Philly.
Yeah,
nice
we'll take
number.
it. I love it.
I would call this a white Christmas.
Well, let's call it a white Christmas.
All right.
Even if it's not technically an inch on the ground tomorrow morning, it's good enough.
You're winning here in the Philadelphia area.
You're winning.
You're winning. Go
Exactly.
Birds, we got to say. We got to throw in there for our producer, DG. We're also keeping track of the weather for anyone heading out to run some errands, maybe some last-minute holiday shoppers. You were going to have some chilly temps today, but, so now it's open.
Oh, yeah. An hour ago, there was nobody there. Literally nobody. And now there's
It just wasn't open.
thousands of people.
So what, did it open at noon, I guess?
I don't know.
It must have.
Chicago.
They must have been waiting.
Yeah.
That's late. 11 Central. Okay.
So an hour ago.
So it must have just been opening the last time we saw it. This is quite a difference.
Didn't take long, did
right?
it?
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
I was kind of feeling bad. Like, why isn't anyone at the market?
Right.
Christmas market. Yeah. Okay. Whew, all is right. It's actually a little on the warm side. Even though it's not warm.
By Chicago standards,
Yes.
it is. You're right, Jen. Yeah. So we are unwrapping all the weather presents a little bit.
All right, let's do a little traveling, give you a quick overview of what's happening out there. Maybe you are heading to the airport or trying to run some last-minute errands before the stores close today. We do have some spots that we're keeping an eye on here in the Mid-Atlantic. Now, it was freezing rain this morning in a number of spots, especially near Fredericksburg in Virginia. Although I was checking temperatures, it seems like most spots have warmed up to at least 34 degrees. Now, we're not measuring the temperature everywhere, so hard to say that there's not a few pockets still left in, but I think overall it's mainly rain right now. But damage done. I mean, there were slick spots. There were accidents this morning in and around the D.C. metro, south of there as well. And there is still some freezing rain showing up on our radar. So there may still be some pockets of it. So you really pay attention and not just driving. Make sure when you're walking out to your car, the sidewalks, your driveway, they all might be slippery. And don't want to, break a wrist or do anything like that here, especially today. There's so much going on, right? Northeast, we're about done with the snow. A little bit still left into Maine. You did pick up officially an inch in New York City on Christmas Eve. That's exciting, right? Boston, you picked up some new snow as well. Things are looking good at the airports through the Northeast. We had some delays earlier at LaGuardia, but those are over. There might be some departure delays still ongoing at Newark, but haven't seen anything bubble up to a ground stop or ground delay. Then we do have DFW that we got to watch out for. We have a ground delay program here. The thunderstorms have been sitting around all morning long. This has been getting worse, not better. The average delays now are 2.5 hours. Doesn't mean every flight is delayed that, but a lot of flights coming into Dallas are feeling delays, some as long as 2.5 hours or perhaps even longer, because that is the average. Christmas Day, the rain does leave Dallas, but we still probably wake up to thunderstorms in the Houston area. And we've got rain on the move heading through Little Rock and Memphis, Jackson, Mississippi. We get rain showers and some rain, maybe even a few thunderstorms are possible into southern Louisiana, including around Baton Rouge and around New Orleans. There may be some airport delays there. Elsewhere, it does look good on Christmas Day. It was a rough morning for some air travelers as a technical issue caused American Airlines to ground all of its flights. On the ground, things are looking a little bit better for drivers. NBC Marissa Pera has a look. And while the numbers weren't as crazy high as they maybe could have been considering what we were dealing with in the atmosphere going into the season, they were still above average, and especially hurricanes and major hurricanes, about double what you would expect.
And they came in bunches. It was a very episodic season. Yeah. Started off hot, then it kind of went as a lull, and then it came back again later on.
And of course, it matters that it hits, and these hit. They all did. I mean, not all, but most. Beryl, Francine, Debbie, while they didn't sort of make the headlines in the way that Helene and Milton did, they had a lot of impacts that people are still cleaning up from.
Very significant impacts along the Gulf Coast, all the way from Texas into Florida, no doubt about that. And some Hurricane Helene, clearly a Cat 4 landfall in Florida.
And this was where that predecessor rain event was such a big part of the damage that happened. The fact that you had inches upon inches of rain before the rain from Helene even got up into western North Carolina. And of course, all the tree damage that happened. And Milton, I mean, hard to even begin to talk about all the records that Milton make, and of course the damage it caused when it came on shore.
Well, for Christmas tree farmers in the Northeast, the holiday spirit is feeling more like a holiday scramble.
The region's historic drought took a toll on Christmas tree harvest, forcing growers to make up for lost seedlings. Here's a preview of a story that you'll see tomorrow morning. See the grass actually poking through.
Yeah.
So it's not a ton of snow. Thanks to our virtual view technology, we can be surrounded by white snow at any time.
That's right. But have you ever wondered why snow is white? Meteorologist Mark Elliott has the answer.
One of the most...
All right, well, what are your odds of a white Christmas? We've been talking a lot about historically what are your odds, and honestly, it's pretty low. It's not a guarantee anywhere, even to the north. But this is the forecast from the GFS model on who's going to have a white Christmas, likely in bright purple.
Right, so this is for this year. And it's actually, obviously, chances are very low in the south, but the farther north you go, the better. And even in New England, we've seen a snow move through last night. That's going to help us out. So it's going to be a white Christmas, certainly in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine.
Yes. And cold enough to keep it. 32 the high there in Boston. We do have rain moving north, though, so we're going to look into those details about that. This is what's on the ground right now in the Northeast. I mean, it might not be an inch, but it's at least a trace.
Yeah, well, you know what? Yes, if it technically doesn't meet the white Christmas definition, it's okay. You have a coating on the ground. That works.
I think it gives you the feels.
Yeah.
But that's why when you look at this, forecast, who's likely to have a white Christmas versus where it's possible or you don't really have a chance. I mean, it's because we don't actually have a lot of snow on the ground in Philadelphia, but there's, you got it on your rooftop right now after just a little bit this morning.
And temperatures tomorrow will gradually be coming up. In the morning, it's going to be colder than 32 in many locations. So whatever's snow on the ground, you'll have it for the morning hours. Yeah. Maybe a little melting tomorrow afternoon in the Northeast.
You'll be able to call it, though, I think, a white Christmas if you have it in the morning. All right. Right now, all across the Great Lakes area, we have snow cover, significant in northern Michigan, lower in the UP. Detroit, you have a trace on the ground.
Yes, trace. I don't know how long that lasts, but we're going to do our best. And here are our odds for tomorrow morning, it being a white Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, into Wisconsin, Madison, up towards Appleton, Milwaukee. Pretty good odds right there.
Pretty good odds. And then Christmas afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, temperatures for the most part, again, coming above 32 degrees. So we'll see some melting. And maybe that's not a bad thing. Helps the roads out if you need to travel, right?
It's not enough to melt all the snow, though. I mean, it takes a while. It takes bigger temperatures, fog, although we do have a lot of fog in the Midwest, I think, with what's going on with the atmosphere there. So that'll be one travel challenge. All right, the west we go. It's mainly the mountains. And not surprising, I guess, but that's where we have the snow.
Yeah, no big shock. This is almost like a topographical map of the west, where the snow is at those highest elevations. You can see that in the Sierra and other areas in the Rockies.
Yeah, and when you look at, what's to come, it's a lot of rain coming in from our Pacific storms and not a ton of snow outside of, course, the mountain areas.
So this is the historical probability of a white Christmas, and it's almost like zeros and ones everywhere. It's a digital forecast for us in the Southeast, right?
It's happened, though, which is why we keep checking it every year. I remember this one back in 2010 Atlanta. I was off that Christmas when I got called in because we got snow in Atlanta.
And I get asked that every year, and I'm like, very unlikely, and that ends the conversation quickly.
This year, it's rain in Texas and Arkansas and Louisiana.
Well, we have snow on a white Christmas in Europe.